First of all, I'd like to thank Jive Smare and the team for putting this together. Much of the work, I understand, happened after hours, so to Jive and the team, a very big thank you for this commendable effort. I'd also like to thank all of you who decided to attend this gathering today. It's important that all of us as communicators come together from time to time to talk about our issues and the jobs we do, and more importantly, why we do it. I want to talk about television and why it's important for us in this nation, in this country that's facing a difficult time, challenges, both internal and external. For Papua New Guinea, pictures are important if we are to cause positive change. Take, for example, images like these. Domestic violence, or the recent demonstration to bring back the Vice-Chancellor of Unitec, Albert Schramm.
If you were given enough time, you didn't prove yourself. So get out. This is the state institution.
I've always been of the view that if our politicians and our leaders aren't ashamed enough to act, then we're wasting our time. Because if we go on reporting about the, quote, positive, and it causes little debate and doesn't challenge the status quo, then we lose the battle against the ills of society. Our challenge is to find a way forward. How do we bring the multitude of people of different languages, different mindsets together as a nation? I don't have the answers, but trust me, I'm working on it. This documentary I'm about to show you is about roads and the challenges, the social, economic and political challenges that the people of Papua New Guinea face. And I hope that this documentary will also stir positive debate and cause change. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon along the Leh Medang Highway. Like many other parts along this highway, this section has been rendered impassable by 3 days of continuous heavy rains. While a lone contractor works in what seems a futile attempt against nature, others see this as an opportunity to make money. Each vehicle pulled out of the mud will cost about $10. As the situation becomes more desperate, the price doubles. Soon the strain from the long hours of waiting start to become evident. Throughout Papua New Guinea, this common scenario is being played out time and time again. Roads, bridges, and even government outposts are at the mercy of floods and unstable environment. In some areas, private contractors are permanently stationed to make sure roads remain open. It's costing provincial governments millions of dollars for this intermediate solution.
Basically, we don't have a good road asset maintenance system in terms of making sure that the roads are sort of maintained all the time.
It's a struggle against the elements coupled with a poor government service delivery mechanism.
The problem is always drainage, good drainage system for roads, so that when roads are constructed, they have a water runoff pattern where the water is going to the ditch and then it runs off.
Road policy, construction and maintenance is currently being shared by two government departments, Transport and Works.
Our roads need to be designed on specifications, on standards that meet the amount of traffic and the load that we see today.
The government headquarters in Port Moresby is itself isolated from the rest of the country without roads linking decision makers to the people. Over the years, government has faced the constant dilemma whether to centralize or decentralize government functions. Prior to 1995, it was the Works Department's primary role to construct and maintain roads in Papua New Guinea. There was a general public consensus that roads were well maintained until the Works Department withdrew its maintenance teams.
This time only change him, only something long reform. One me only change him, all those all got one heavy equipment, all machine or something by all contractors supply him now. Long display make him now all got the road long country and background because Department of Works and yet got all grader, water truck, roller, excavators, all this like something only no got.
The reforms also shifted the Works Department's role of construction and maintenance to monitoring and supervision.
They were meant to say, okay, you no longer do the job, you are only going to supervise and so on, but supervise whom? On the other hand, they were not given the skills to do the job, and on the other hand, there were not enough companies to go around doing the job.
The governments are not experts at sustainable maintenance and managing equipment and plant, as well as continuously putting the money in the budget to ensure there was sustainability. So it was best that the private sector came in.
Over the years, successive governments implemented significant cost-cutting measures that removed the construction and maintenance capacity of the Works Department. Despite the cutbacks, the department is still responsible for over 8,000 kilometers of roads throughout the country. Between 2003 and 2009, government budget allocations through various programs have remained well below what is required to keep roads in good working order. While there is an urgent need to rehabilitate Papua New Guinea's national highways, the cost remains a major deterrent. In 2009, the National Economic and Fiscal Commission, a government advisory body, published a report which said it would cost the government 130 times more to rehabilitate all neglected roads than to maintain them.
Just to maintain the existing road network in Papua New Guinea is something in the order of 164 billion with a B. 164 billion kina. That's our rough estimate. Now, what will that 164 billion kina buy us? Like I said, it's the cost of just making sure that the roads that we already have in existence stay open.
One important road link badly in need of rehabilitation is the Highlands Highway. It's a key infrastructure in the country's agriculture, mineral and petroleum exports. It is in this region that the ADB has funded the construction of several successful road projects.
Pladita mibla sleep le wakabote go along. Tomba one them all beg blow mibla. Na mibla paine matru. Na rodi bagra bogada. So now mibla got big blam mastru long. Mibla got a good road and now called I go na. Ogar something of good now mibla got big blam mastru.
IDB ka first stage am long ogluben ko Ambra, and then second stage am Ambra go long Kotna. Next stage is from Kotna to Bans, Bans go Carmen, and then from the Sla Happy go long. I go Mountain Dona and go to Wagi Bridge. Na one peldi hap long Kinden Konipina. The slow roads are there really gaman you lose him. You give money na maintenance, not maintenance na road go bagar bogada, but ADB come inside now he got big impact.
In the next 3 years, these roads, as part of the Highlands Highway, will become even more crucial to the country's economy.
The Highlands Highway is the main economic lifeline of Papua New Guinea. There's going to be a completely different strategy to do that, redesign it under a different standard, a different design specifications, and open it up much wider than it is now. Do the pavements all over again, drainage system all over again.
Papua New Guinea's central bank is predicting a significant increase in economic output over the coming years, with GDP growth of 20% expected once a $16 billion LNG project by ExxonMobil begins exports in 2014.
Papua New Guinea is in a better position than ever before to mobilize resources to do those things.
During road project implementation, many contractors and funders face disruptions that stem from the lack of adequate awareness and understanding of the benefits a road can bring. Recently constructed roads have overcome the major hurdle of compensation demands through awareness and education by government officers.
Council administrations do play a very important role. District administrations, they also play a very important role. So you will find that through them, through the different agencies, they've also attempted. Because usually these people will be the liaison people, or they'll be the middlemen. When national agencies go down to the provinces, they go and work with the various divisions.
But there are other problems that continue to plague the road implementation process. Since the mid-1990s, Papua New Guinea politics has become more clientelist in nature as politicians try to cement their hold on power. Today, large portions of government funding are controlled by politicians who want to be seen to be delivering services.
Our leaders have used different types of funds, and one of the most important one was that Transport Sectoral Fund. And the Transport Sectoral Fund was the beginning of this long period of time where politicians managed to dip their hands directly into whatever level, types of fundings that are available for them to use, in their various respective districts. And we all know from history that acquittals from the use of those funds was very, very poor.
The rationale behind placing this large amount of funding in the hands of politicians is that departments like Works aren't performing their duties.
I have put money as Minister of Works or also as Treasurer for the maintenance and rehabilitation or upgrade of the provincial and the local roads. But what has happened is those funds have not been properly administered for the intended purpose. Now, why have they done that? I've realized that the reason is political. There's got to be a political review of a political system.
The lack of clear demarcation between the legislative and executive arms of government has had a significant impact on planning, road maintenance and construction. As a former administrator of the Western Highlands province, Dr. Thomas Webster was put under extreme pressure by political leaders during road tendering processes.
Companies who would put the bids would go to the governor and say, hey, we've put in our bids and so. But I used to have, we had some guidelines, and I used to tell the governor, I said, look, there are guidelines for decision making that the tenders committee has adopted, and we will go by those guidelines.
Political pressure also extended to the decisions whether to use foreign or local contractors. And in a country where there are few local contractors, provincial and national governments face the constant challenge of finding suitable companies able to complete projects to a high standard.
You've got to start somewhere. And the way to go is to put a bit of faith in the PNG government systems, to build up the capacity of the PNG government systems, and to sort of use the government systems to deliver services.
The problems will still remain if we don't have a good maintenance system.
As the second decade of the 21st century begins, a vast majority of rural Papua New Guineans will continue to face hardships brought on by the lack of roads or the poor quality of maintenance and construction.